Joining us right now, his Phoenix Suns. Yes, his Phoenix Suns. This is a man who once came so close to bringing a Lombardi trophy to the Valley of the Sun. As a matter of fact, his closest they ever came was thanks to his right arm and Larry Fitzgerald's hands and legs and the rest of that team. My compadre from NFL Game Day Morning and Westwood One Radio, Kurt Warner, here on the football program known as the Rich Eisen Show for the moment. How are you, Kurt? What's going on, brother?
I am doing good, man. I'm excited to have you as part of a new team at Westwood One, my friend.
Thank you, bud.
Going to be a great year. Can't wait to get things started.
It's good times coming up. So let's hit right off the bat here. What would a championship in the National Basketball Association mean to Phoenix and Arizona writ large, Kurt? What do you have for me on that front?
Yeah, I mean, Rich, the biggest thing is you realize as you kind of go through this, and when I was playing, is that anytime you make a run for a championship, it's about an entire community. It's not just about the team and the organization. It's about that community coming with you. And it's been a long time since the Suns have been in this position and competing for a championship. And, you know, really just across the valley, it's been a long time, waiting for their teams to get to this point. And so it's fun to watch the city get excited. My son-in-law was raised here, and he's been, a diehard Suns fan for 30-plus years. And you're starting to see that excitement from all these people that have been Suns fans forever, and now sitting here at 2-0. And everybody's kind of feeling it a little bit. Obviously, there's a long way to go in the NBA Finals. You still got to win 4.
Yes.
But there is a lot of buzz and excitement in this community, and that's what it's all about, is bringing that whole entire community. And, I saw it when I was playing, is an unbelievable community, the way they support their players and their teams. And so it would be awesome for the Suns to bring a championship back here. I actually texting with Larry Fitzgerald last night, who's, a minority owner with the team. And I told him, I said, the only problem I have is that I don't want your first ring to be from an NBA basketball court and not an NFL football field. And so that was my only regret about it. But, a big part of the team and a big part of, helping turn things around and the excitement around the team. And so I'm excited for him and the entire team.
How did Larry respond to that text, Kurt? Can you give me that response?
He didn't really say anything to that. I know he feels the same way, as excited as he would be to be a part of that championship. There's no doubt that he would rather get the one that's holding up the Lombardi and on a football field, sooner.
I bet. And just, because we started the show talking about, Kurt, how this team is just hitting its stride. It gets better, like they're getting better. That's why there is a sense of inevitability, even though there are 2 games to go. They're getting better. Bridges had a career high. You see both Camerons performing better. You're seeing Crowder, you're seeing Ayton, and then obviously Paul and Booker with Monty Williams. We played a soundbite at the top of the show too of how he was coaching Ayton in the huddle. I love Monty Williams. I just love. I'll say this, Kurt. He reminds me of Dungy, the way that he comports himself, and it isn't the loudest guy in the room, but what he says lands like he's yelling. You know what I'm saying? He's got that quality.
And that he's been through some stuff as well.
Yes.
And so I think everybody has gravitated to his personality, not just on the team, but in the community. And I think really around the league, and are pulling for, this man that has been through a bunch and is a tremendous leader, and the way that he carries himself and the reason that he does what he does. And you can tell that he cares not just about winning a championship, but he cares about these young men and helping them be the best. And so unbelievable leadership from that standpoint. I even texted Larry again last night. It's just, the team reminds me to some degree of our team back in 2008, kind of the old leader at the helm, in Chris Paul, who's kind of come in and settled down all these young pieces. But then there's so many young superstars surrounding him, but he seemed to be the glue and the leader that brought everything together. And it kind of reminded me of our team in 2008, that the old guy came in and kind of leading and settling down the charge when we get to the playoffs. But it's that young talent that's really separating them. And, you're starting to find out about some of these guys that, to me weren't household names. Not that I'm a huge NBA fan, but, watching the finals and, as you said, Bridges and Ayton coming into his own, where I remember a couple years ago people going, oh, man, he's a bust. And why did they pick him where they did? And now he's settled in with that leadership of Chris Paul. So it's fun to see, and it's reminiscent a little bit of our run. And I think a lot of championship teams, you have those different pieces. And as you mentioned, this team has the pieces, a lot of great role players playing their part with a couple great leaders and great players spearheading this thing. And it's been fun to watch the way they carry themselves and the humility by which they play. And it's fun, and I really hope that they can finish this thing off.
And it's an excellent analogy there, Kurt, where you were the older guy coming in Arizona and leading a championship run, and Chris Paul doing the same thing here, and you being an excellent basketball player in your own mind. Do you equate your game with Chris Paul's as well, Kurt?
I like how you say that, in my own mind.
Yeah,
I like to think I'm a good basketball player in other people's minds too. But you're right, in my mind. No, I'm nothing like Chris Paul when I play basketball. Okay. When I played football, I pass the ball a lot.
Okay.
When I play basketball, I shoot the ball a lot.
Okay.
So I'm more like the Booker of my, pick up basketball games at the house. So unfortunately, I can't say I deliver, and I'm dropping dimes from that standpoint. Completely different from Chris Paul when I play basketball.
Well, and plus you broke your face playing basketball, like Devin Booker, right, Kurt? That's another.
I did that. I broke my jaw, as you remember well, in the middle of the NFL season a couple of years ago. Yeah. I did break my jaw playing.
So you're more Booker. That's a good point. You're more Booker. You're Booker and Paul.
I play with my face. So what are you going to do?
Kurt Warner here on the Rich Eisen Show. And I guess, what do you think? Because I was watching Larry call the action on the match. Do you think he's done? I don't want you to speak for him. Nobody does. But what do you think? Do you glean anything from those conversations at all, Kurt?
We don't talk a lot about that.
Okay.
We have talked about it over the years, and I always got the sense that, he was one season away, that, he could have retired at any point in time, but as long as he felt like he could contribute to a team, as long as he felt like the team had a chance to be successful, and, he liked his role on the team, that as long as he was healthy, he'd keep coming back. Now, I really thought this was going to be it for him. But I think the longer this thing plays out, the more I kind of think to myself, I think he might come back. I'm really surprised we haven't heard anything at this point with training camps a month away or whatever. And to me, it just kind of lends itself to him coming back. But the one thing I will say about Fitz is he's never wanted to make anything about him. And so I wouldn't be surprised, as they get right to training camp and there's buzz around the league of all this other stuff, that maybe he announces it then so he can just kind of slide under the radar, and it's not worldwide news. And again, obviously it still will be if Larry Fitzgerald retires, but you know what I'm saying is that he's not on the front page, and he's not the only story, because that's never been who Larry Fitzgerald is that he might just try to slide it in, at the last minute where they can't make a big to-do about it. But, to me, it feels like I think they've built some things. They've, put J.J. Watt and A.J. Green and Rodney Hudson and added some great veterans to the young talent that they have, that you just feel like this could be a year that, the Cardinals kind of turn the table a little bit and get to the playoffs, and who knows, make another run. And I know he desperately wants to do that. He desperately wants another opportunity at a championship. So I think how he feels about this team and where they're at, could go a long way in deciding if he ultimately calls a retirement or goes another year.
A few more minutes left with Kurt Warner here on the Rich Eisen Show, and also on the match, you saw Aaron Rodgers just play out of his skull, play some excellent golf. And leading into that, he was talking about how he's worked on his mental approach and his mental calmness and removing negativity from his life. And I thought, he was doing that last year as the MVP, and now he's even got more of potentially Zen qualities coming in. We got to see him play. I wonder how you see. Honestly, we got to see him play. I wonder what you think now that you're, here we are a couple weeks from training camp removed. What you think is going on there? What will happen?
Well, I've always said that I believe he will play in a Packer uniform. If you're the Packers, I don't know if you can let it play out any other way. I've got to see him not play before I'm going to think about making any moves to let him out the door. I mean, he's just too special of a player. He means too much. He makes your team so much better. And just the leadership that he brings. And as you said, the calmness that he brings. I mean, you talk about where he's at now. I've always thought he's handled himself extremely well in terms of being able to handle whatever comes his way and not getting too excited about it. I mean, we all remember the relax and all of those things, that he's always handled himself that way really, really well. And I believe he'll do that again this year, even though it's been kind of a crazy offseason. I think he'll come back and battle with his guys unless they trade him. And I think he will be playing. I mean, to me, it just makes sense. And maybe I'm just being an optimist because I'm a huge fan of the league and what he brings to the table and how he makes our league better. And I'm hopeful that he doesn't go somewhere else and that he stays in a Packer uniform.
All right, before I let you go, Kurt, I saw your Instagram feed and your Twitter feed because I follow you, Kurt. I'm a friend. I'm a colleague. And the photographs that you tweeted out and IG'd out from the set of the film based on your life, Zachary Levi playing you and Anna Paquin playing Brenda, your wife, Dennis Quaid playing Vermeil, American Underdog, right? And it looked great, man. And the reaction was stupendous that people were responding to it. It was great. That's awesome.
We're excited. I mean, obviously, it's pretty surreal that so many blessings in our life over the years, and crazy to think, as you're going through the journey and wondering if you're ever going to get another opportunity to play in the NFL, and then you do, and it plays out the way that it has. That who would have thought back in those moments that it would turn into a big screen movie, because it's kind of a one-of-a-kind story. And a lot of people take inspiration and encouragement from what I went through and the struggles that I went through to get to where I'm at. And so it's been a long time coming. We've been working on this project for a long time, but we really feel as if we got it right. And, that to me was always the key, was making sure we shared the right story, and a story that could really impact people and not just football fans. I think that's the thing people are going to love about this movie is, people are going to see it from a big picture standpoint as a football movie. But it is an underdog movie and not just my story. There's some other underdogs that surround me that I think are really going to impact the masses. And that to me is what's going to be cool when it's all said and done, is I think no matter what your demographic, no matter where you stand, no matter whether you're a sports fan or not, you're a dreamer or not, there's going to be elements in here that really impact people and encourage people and show how you can win being an underdog. And so that to me is going to be the coolest part. I don't want to obviously give away a whole bunch of it,
sure.
But personally that there's some really cool underdog stories in my family, and we're going to try to tie those all together, kind of woven through the football career and that underdog story. And I really believe that people are going to be touched, even if they go in going, oh, okay, I'll go to the football movie for my husband, or, I'll go because I heard the story. I think they will be impacted by a number of different things that happen in the movie.
I love it. And the video you showed, it does look like, Zachary Levi's got your throwing motion. Like the shoulder pads.
Yeah,
he looks like he nailed it.
Let's not go that far. Come on now.
No, because I know.
That. Zach came to the house for a couple days, and we tried to work on it. And
I've been on the business end of that, Kurt. I've been on the business end of that.
Exactly.
No wonder.
I got high standards.
Oh,
I have very high standards, Rich. You know that. Especially if you were playing me in the movie, we would have really high standards.
I feel for him.
It was fun, and that's always the funny part of it, is that people will see different things, and oh my gosh, he doesn't throw like Kurt, and it's like, come on, people, let's understand what this is, and the fact that I spent 40 years of my life throwing a football, where Zach Levi or any of these other guys that have played football players on TV, that's not what they do. And so I thought Zach did an incredible job. And shooting the football scenes was really, really cool. I think it's going to look unbelievable. But yeah, it's like everything else when you're making a movie. we got to step back and understand the movie-making process. And I hope everybody else can as well. But you're right. I think he did a great job.
Okay, good. See, that wasn't tough to say. So you're saying, Zachary Levi's been in Warner's corner. He knows what it's like to be in Warner's corner. So you're telling me?
He definitely knows what it's like. As we were going through the whole process, because I was on set, I hit set for, maybe a week total, just kind of bouncing around. And it was ironic that it was for most of the football scenes. So, yes, I had to go out there almost every day. Hey, you got to do this a little different. Got to do that a little different. So, yes, he was in Warner's corner the whole shooting of the movie, under that scrutiny for sure. But he, like I said, he handled it well, and he did great. And it was fun. We had so much fun when he actually did drop a dime, as you know, and you do that on your show, or you get those moments. And you know what that feeling's like.
Oh, sure.
And he had that feeling a couple times where he just felt like, oh, all right, cut right there. That's the one where he could really feel it. And those are the cool moments when you have a movie and you nail it and you get it right. And Zach had some of those throwing a football where I know he was nervous going in with that part of it because you understand how everybody looks at that stuff. But Zach, I think, did an unbelievable job in this role, and I'm excited for everybody to see it on the big screen.
Who plays me, Kurt? Who plays me? You never told me who plays me.
You didn't make the cut.
Well, Kurt, I'm an American Underdog too. I worked at supermarkets when I was in high school. I took a podcast. I have a podcast into a show.
I'm with you. Our relationship really didn't start until what would be considered part 2 of this. So maybe when there's a part 2,
I'm in the sequel.
Now, here's the thing I will say, Rich, and I don't know this.
Yes, Kurt.
If this is factual or not, but you were probably on SportsCenter when I took over in '99.
Oh yeah.
So if there's anything that you said about the Rams are done and the Rams are over and they got no chance with this guy, now that Trent Green went down, maybe that will be your cameo in the movie. I don't know if you had anything like that happen, but
no,
we
Kurt.
may have to scour some of your sportscasting or your SportsCenter broadcasts and see what you said around that time, and maybe we can fit you in with a cameo.
Now I'm nervous. I'll be honest with you. Now I'm nervous.
You don't remember what you said, do you? You don't have any idea?
No, not at all. I was just saying, man, they got Marshall Faulk. They're ready to go and everything, and then
okay.
Now look. Well, now look at us.
All right, maybe you'll put that positive spin on it. Maybe you'll get that cameo on that side of it.
All right, Kurt. Real quick, when does it come out? Do you have a release date yet or a plan for it? Or
the release date as of now, and again, I think things are always in the middle of the pandemic, the ability to change. But December 10th is where it is scheduled for release in the theaters on December 10th. So we
in time for the holidays.
Excited about it.
Fantastic, Kurt. Well, terrific. Best of Brenda. Safe journeys. We'll see you on the ESPYs this weekend, correct? We're going to see.
All right, brother. Yep. We're going to be presenting on the ESPYs, so we will see you soon. Can't wait to catch up and get back to ball.
See you at the Hall. Take care, Kurt.
All right, buddy.
You're the best. The best. Kurt Warner, right here on the Rich Eisen Show. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.